And there we go. Well, good morning. This is John Marling, Pulse Research. And once again, on behalf of the Pulse team, we want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the Oregonian team. As you know, Pulse is based in Portland, and we serve media clients across North America from our home here in Portland. So we love you guys, and we really appreciate the opportunity to get together today. And as Greg just mentioned, what we're going to go over, the focal point this morning is your new Oregonian shopping data. Let me just repeat that. It's Oregonian shopping data. And that is just so timely because the first thing I want to talk about this morning is your local businesses and the reality of the ongoing, ever evolving pandemic here in Oregon, and how extremely important, timely, and beneficial this shopping information will be for your local businesses. So I want to then go into the data itself, share with you some specific insights, some thoughts, answer any questions that you might have on your Oregonian shopping data. And let me be blunt, this is the foundation. So if you have any concerns, any questions, anything that would keep you from enthusiastically and immediately using this information, let's talk about it now. Or, and I'll give you my email right now, it's Marling, M-A-R-L-I-N-G, marling@paper.net. Then I want to go over probably the most important tip. You guys, some of you have been on the web sessions before, have heard me talk about this, but it bears repeating. My number one recommendation. Then we're going to go live on your Oregonian Pulse site and share with you not only the new data that's live right now, right at your fingertips on your Pulse site, but I also want to go over some of the key recommendations, best practices, starting with prospecting, then getting the appointment. And we did a session about 3 or 4 months ago. We talked about the squirrel statement, how to get their interest, engagement, so they want to get together. Then some thoughts on your Pulse presentation. And then also, many of you attended last, I think it was Tuesday? No, Wednesday, the special webinar we did with Metro Creative Graphics, where one of the superstars from your sister publication, NJ Advanced Staten Island, shared some of his extremely innovative ideas and effective ways to engage with Pulse and your AdWizard program. And then Chris also talked about the break-even calculator, which I want to touch on for just a moment, kind of as a reminder, okay? So first off, why Pulse matters now? Frankly, more than ever. And the reason is because we have an ongoing, evolving pandemic here in Portland, Multnomah County, Washington County, Clackamas County, over in Clark County, et cetera. Businesses don't know from day to day what's going to be happening next. And so Pulse asked the questions of the Oregonian audience, that's both print and digital, on what your audience shopping plans are over the next 12 months. And that's one of the major changes in your new shopping data. We had been focusing on 3 months, but we got feedback from our clients saying, could all of you please mute your microphone, please? We got some background noise. Okay, thanks. And so the bottom line is Pulse very simply just asked of the Oregonian audience, print and digital once again, shopping plans, next 12 months for over 567 business categories. And why is this information valuable, usable, important? Because, hey, nobody else has it. This is unique to you guys. This is a survey we just completed. The businesses don't have it. Oregon doesn't have it. Multnomah County doesn't have it. This is an opportunity for you to assist and help your businesses with information, a crystal ball for the next 12 months. And what's the benefit of it? It helps them with ideas and solutions on how they can effectively target, specific shopping categories and get more business. And the bottom line also, and we work with, publications across North America. I do a lot of trainings and in one-on-one with businesses. The businesses want this information. They don't want to be sold today. That used to work in the past, but today businesses want consultant solutions, ideas to help them get more business. And that's why the Pulse survey and your Pulse program to access is so effective today. So moving right into your data here, all Pulse wants to do is we just ask the questions the business has asked. So what would a realtor ask? Do you plan to change or get a new realtor? Do you plan to list your home? What real estate sites would you go to if you're looking for property available, in the greater Portland, Oregon area? What would a car dealer ask? Do you plan to buy a new car? Do you plan to buy a used car? What would a hardware store ask? Well, do you plan to shop at a hardware store? What remodeling plans do you have for your home? So I want to just underscore what Pulse does is so simple. All we do is once again ask the questions a business would ask. Do you plan to shop in our business category, like a chiropractor over the next 12 months? What chiropractic needs do you have? It's as simple as that. We got well over 400 samples, which is the gold standard in research. Once you hit 400, the results will not change, period. And the bottom line is that you have a tool and resource right now in your Pulse program that is frankly what the businesses want. And so let me pause now. Any questions, any further thoughts you have, Greg, on your new Oregonian shopping data for the next 12 months?
Well, John, one of the things I'm excited about with this is it's going to be maybe a pivot. I'm hoping a pivot in some of these conversations with the clients. We've been doing this week to week, month to month, maybe quarter to quarter kind of a thing. And so having annualized data here means I'm optimistic we can have more annualized conversations.
Absolutely. And in talking to other clients who we've recently launched also with a 12-month data, that has been the case. It gives them the crystal ball, the opportunity for the next 12 months, which gives them more confidence and obviously is very motivating. But also I might want to add is that opportunity combined with the break-even calculator to show them how few customers they need, to pay for a 52-week campaign is very, very low in terms of numbers they need. And we'll go into that in just a second. So your point is right on. It is a pivot. We've lived in a world that has been more transitory, but the focal point, and I know that Kurt Van Toske, your sister publication, NJ Advanced, that's their focus also, is 52-week programs. So great point, Greg. Any other questions? There are no dumb questions on the research. Once again, it is the foundation. And if any of you are bashful or shy, no problem. Just send me an email, Marling, MARLING, @paper.net. Okay?
John, does the chat window work too if they're trying to stay on mute and want to get a question in?
Let me go here to chat if I might.
I don't know if there's anything there yet, but just try to give them options.
Very good. I don't see anything. Okay, very good. It's really simple. We just ask if your audience, their shopping patterns, we put it into Pulse so you can share it and frankly be a hero with these businesses. Okay? All right, so if you have any questions, email me later on. I'm more than happy to one-on-one answer them for you. Okay, so now, my number one most important tip, and you've heard me say this before if you've been on a webinar with me, and I've learned this from over 2,000 four-legged sales calls, getting out there, going toe-to-toe with the car dealer, the small business person, the restaurateur, et cetera, et cetera. Here is the most important thing, is from the get-go, could be a phone call, Could be an email, could be a drop-in call, however you first engage with that business. And it could be an existing client, by the way. I mean, one of the best practices here is, darn it, go out and share this opportunity information with your existing businesses. There's a huge opportunity for an upsell. You know, maybe they're running, you know, sporadically, or maybe, you know, there's an opportunity to significantly increase their commitment with the Oregonian because now they realize the opportunity. But here is the most important thing I've ever learned, is when you start that dialogue, that conversation, making sure they understand it's their research. So for instance, if you picked up the phone, you're talking to a realtor. I've got some great news. We just did a local real estate survey. That gets their attention because they're realtors. And many times they say, what do you mean by that? And then you say, well, we just asked the questions you would ask as a realtor. Like what? Well, do you plan to use a realtor? Oh, really? What else did you ask? Do you plan to list your home? Do you plan to buy a home? If you plan to buy a home, what type of property are you looking at buying? And what happens over and over and over, when they understand you've got information about and for their business, they want to see it. So on the phone call, in person, make sure they understand it's their research. Yes, of the Oregonian audience. But if you were to walk in and say, hey, I've got some good news. The Oregonian just did a survey. Would you like to see the results of the Oregonian research? Many times they'll say no. And the reason for that is, when you think about it, is the TV station, radio stations come in with their research. So they think, well, you're trying to sell me something. It's Oregonian research to sell me something. So the difference is when they understand from the get-go, it's their research. A furniture survey, an automotive survey, an insurance survey. You get their buy-in right away. They get excited about it. And that's the difference. Yes, it is of the Oregonian. Eventually, yeah, when you're showing them the presentation, they understand that, but they're already engaged with, because they want to know what's in it for me. And so that's the most important tip, recommendation. And remember that. So if you're getting pushback from, well, I don't think I'm interested, you know, blah, blah, just make sure that you engage with them with the, you know, with and Lee Enterprises calls this the tip of the spear. Tip of the spear. It's their research. Okay. So that is the most important thing that I've ever learned, and I just want to reinforce that. Okay, now I mentioned this a moment ago, but here is your individual opportunity, and it's fun. The businesses love talking about themselves. The businesses love engaging with solutions and ideas with the information about and for their business to get more business. Okay, now we're going to go live, and I want to do a quick tour, some recommendations, best practices, and thoughts on the opportunity right now with the information in your Oregonian Pulse program with your live, you know, data. So here we are. I've logged in as you, Greg. Okay. And so a couple thoughts. Number one is prospecting. Okay. We did a session a bit ago. Pulse has a unique program built right into. So on your home page here, oh, and before I forget, a couple things. Number one, if you haven't already, please put Pulse on your mobile device, your smartphone or your tablet. And all you have to do is click here on Help, then come down to FAQ. Can everybody see my screen okay, by the way?
We can, John.
Okay, great. Thanks, Greg. Yep. And then come down to FAQ, okay? And then how can I add Pulse to my mobile device? And you click here. So if you've got a Apple device, you click here on iPhone, or if you've got an Android device, you click here on Android. Simple as that. And what does that do? It's not an app, but it puts a link to Pulse right on your mobile device. And then you just click on it. And as we're going through the presentation this morning, it gives you many opportunities to, in real time with the business, engage. And by the way, since we're here, for those of you who haven't already, click on training. And what we have for you is a training guide. And it's really kind of cool. And it has a short video for each one of the pulse functions and each one of the training steps. So where do the numbers come from? A little more detail. Prospecting. And as you will note here, there's a short 3 to 4 minute video, and then there's assignments. And I see that Greg completed his program here. Remember, I'm signed in as Greg. And so Greg has watched the video and done each one of the assignments. So in terms of,
they're really handy too. They're just, you know, bite-sized chunks that I can fit in between things. It's been really valuable. So thank you for that.
and thank you. And so a recommendation is, if you haven't done the Pulse training and you're new, just when you log in, click here on training. It'll ask you if you'd like to engage with the Pulse training, and click yes, and you're underway. Okay. And as Greg just said, it's really simple in that they're bite-sized, little video and a couple of assignments to really use that function of Pulse. Okay, so now let's go back into the program live. Prospecting, let's find some prospects. So we got a couple different prospecting programs. When you got more time, come back into the program. The most popular is the most sold business categories. So let's click there on most sold business categories. And up will come your over 567 Oregonian business categories. And they're ranked by most sold for our clients' actual use and results of the program across North America. So Realtor, #1 most sold, new vehicle dealership, family style restaurant, etc. There's some great ones in the top 10. Legal firm. Madison, Wisconsin told me the other day, they're just really being very successful, with legal firms. You've got insurance agencies, but you go down through here, and what it shows you is the close ratio and the average sale for our clients across North America. And where does Pulse get this information? Every time you use the Pulse program, it automatically records, that you created a presentation. And then when you go in there and put what happened, we then know what the close ratio is and the average sale. The quickest way to look at finding a business category is just click in search. And so you can quickly find like bank. Okay. And so you've got user change bank, you've got a mortgage banker, bankruptcy service. Okay. You get the idea. So very, very fast, you can find business categories. Okay. So let's go back to the hot prospects. I just want to share with you a moment the tremendous range and depth of categories that you have. So you click on category. Here's all the apparel related businesses: women's clothing store, shoe store, jewelry store, sportswear store, bridal store, outdoor clothing store, etc. Watch store. I mean, there's just any business category you can think of. Arts and entertainment businesses. Look at all the automotive businesses. Beauty and spa. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. Cannabis, child related. Community, education is a big deal right now in today's world. Family activities, farm and equipment, financial services, fitness, every retail category you can think of. Health and medical, huge, huge category. And by the way, for many of them, Pulse asked, you plan to get a change or get a new? I mean, going into a dentist and saying, hey, I got some good news. 90% of our households we reach are going to use a dentist. And they kind of go, so what? So we changed the question to ask, do you plan to change? Do you plan to get a new dentist or change dentist? Do you plan to change or get a new hospital? Do you plan to change or get a new hearing aid center? Very, very impactful. And then continuing here, home and garden businesses, home service businesses, hotel, local services, such as a shoe repair shop, motorsports, nightlife, pets, can't forget about pets, professional services, a lot of real estate, recreation, restaurants, specialty food. Okay? So the bottom line is, and why I kind of went the overview of this, any business category you can think of, we've got current Oregonian audience shopping information. Okay, so now let's show you how it works. Let's find some prospects. So let's go down here to, let's go to legal firm. That's been a very, very successful category. So you click on legal firm. And by the way, it defaults to a primary Portland zip code 97201. You can change that zip code, or you can change and put in a specific community like Beaverton. You can then save if you want. You click here on the tag and you can save your own geographic area by just changing the zip and putting in your own zip and then click on add. And by the way, this is in the training program, okay? And so now let's find some prospects. So as you'll notice here, let me click off here on the map. You can zoom in further if you want and zoom around so you can look geographically. Or on the left-hand column, you've got a list of legal firms. So in your program, when you log in as an ad rep, you can actually create a call list, okay? So let's click on connect. And now let's start the conversation, the engagement, the squirrel statement. How do you get the business wanting to get together? By obviously grabbing their attention, getting them excited and wanting to get together because they realize the benefit, the opportunity for them. So we put together some talking points for either a phone call, an email, or a drop-in call. So let's click on the phone call. So we click on phone call, and up will come some words to say. So in many cases, you get a voice message, okay? You don't get to talk to the decision maker. So here are the words. Hi, I'm Gregory Thompson, the Oregonian. I'm calling because I thought you might be interested in what we found out from a legal survey we just participated in. I will send you an email. How many local households say, I need a new lawyer? And by the way, this subject line came from an advanced publication. He came up with the idea of putting right into the email subject line a benefit statement. And so we've incorporated that into the voicemail suggestion. Number one, we did a legal firm survey. We've got a lot of information about the needs, the results of the legal firm survey. I will send an email that says, I need a lawyer. That'll grab their attention, okay? But if you're lucky and you get the person on the phone, look at this. Pulse has put together the squirrel statements, okay? We did a legal needs survey. We asked the questions you would ask. Do you plan to change or get a legal firm in the next 12 months? This is the big change in the next 12 months, okay? Here's a few things we found out to grab their attention. I thought you might be interested to know. We reach almost 28,000 households who said yes, they plan to change or get a new legal firm. That is a real attention getter, but it gets even better. Because one of the questions we asked, you plan to change or get a new will or trust. Look at this, from your own Oregonian audience, you reach over 70,000 households, 70,000 households. Those households plan to get a new will or a trust. That's a very big deal. And so if I'm right now at this moment engaging with you as a legal firm on the phone, I'm sharing with you, we got almost 28,000 households who plan to change or get a new legal firm. And we've got almost over 70,000 households who will get a new will or trust. We've also asked about other legal needs. I'm more than happy to share this information. This survey was just completed right here locally, okay? To help you identify niches. We asked about bankruptcy attorneys. You know, we asked about uh, uh, employment attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. Would you like to get together? So many times they say yes. So let me pause here for a moment. I'm happy to answer any questions, you know, on the suggested words, in this case for a legal firm. Okay. And by the way, your friends in New Jersey have said this has been extremely helpful in getting the appointment. And so now you got the appointment. And so look at this. You click off. By the way, you can mark it as engaged. So you keep a record that you engaged with Stoll Reeves. Then you click off here and look at this. Pulse automatically creates your presentation to take out, or you can do over a Zoom webinar like this. Okay. And so if you want to print it, you just click on print. And as simple as that, you can print the presentation or you can print it as a PDF. But let's for a moment just go over how do you engage with the business with the presentation, okay? What I would suggest is let's together identify with this current fresh legal needs research where you can get additional new clients, okay? As I mentioned on the phone, we've got almost 28,000 households who said yes. Now, how did we get that number? Your total reach with the Oregonian and Oregonian Live from your Scarborough research is over 1 million adults. So that's coming from Scarborough. Of those 1 million adults, it represents 367,500 households. So over 1 million adults, 365,000 households. That's who we queried, okay? 7.6% of those households in your Oregonian just completed research said, yes, we plan to get a new attorney. I see there was a mistake here in the Pulse program. We'll get that fixed for you. It says next 3 months. It's actually 12 months, okay? So my apologies for that. Let me make a note of that. My apologies. Next 12 months, okay? But 7.6% from the research. That's the result times the number of households you reach, okay? That's 27,930 opportunities. I don't know about you, but wouldn't you agree with me if you're a legal firm, you got their attention, they're interested? And then I would say, let's figure out together where we can get you new clients. I mentioned on the phone when we chatted, over 70,000 households. Look at that, 19.1% from our just completed legal survey we did said yes, they plan to get a will or trust, update their will or trust in the next 12 months. Okay, let's together figure out. And by the way, look at this. And let's say we're on a Zoom meeting with them. We click on this little editing pen here. It takes you right into your Oregonian research. So I could be on a Zoom webinar with you right now in real time. Let's figure out together where we can help you get more clients. And they say, a little role play here, if I might. Well, we've got a great new disability attorney. We've got, you know, a bankruptcy attorney, okay? Accident and personal injury, okay? But you see how we're right into the research? And so with their input, their buy-in, we're getting their specific input as to where they think they can increase their business. And then you just click here on update and it'll update your presentation. We click off here and it updates right here. Look at, we've added accident, personal, it's only 0.5%, but that's almost 1,900 households. Look at that, over 2,500 households for bankruptcy attorney. And so now they say, yes, I want to increase and get new clients, okay? And so let me once again pause. Any questions, feedback? What do you guys think about the new data and its applicability, like in this example here, with engaging and getting the attention and the interest of the business. So they want to promote, they want to engage and get more clients. Okay, so let's click here now. The next step, and this is what Chris Scott, at Staten Island Advance has been so effective at. He shows them the opportunity, and then he shows them how to reach them with a spec ad. So we click here on spec ad, okay, and it takes us right into your Metro program, okay? And we'll click off here on the video, and there's Chris. He did a hell of a webinar last week, okay? And so then we put in the keyword, legal. Type in firm, legal firm. We're going to do exact match. And it'll bring up a great selection of legal focused ads. And by the way, one thing that Chris Scott did that I wasn't even aware of, one of these he did, he had a dentist he was making a presentation to, and the dentist wanted to focus on graduating seniors. And so he found in the image library here in the creative library a great image of students with big toothy smiles. And so he grabbed that image and used that to say, here's how to reach the opportunity, the number of households we reach. And it was very successful. He signed a campaign. Okay. And so now all you do, and I'm sure you're very familiar with the Ad Wizard program, you just select your particular ad, you just click on it, and then you can obviously customize the ad. And let me share with you one of the things that Chris Scott did that I thought was very, very effective is what he did is when you click on customize, okay, it brings up different elements in the ad you can customize. So let's say we don't need to use Oregon, okay? So what he does is he clicked on Oregon Edit, and look at it. He put in, and I'm just gonna say, wills and trusts experts. Okay, so I'm gonna replace Oregon with wills and trust experts. So the little wizard does its thing. Okay, and now it should have popped up on the ad, wills and trust experts. How come when I demo stuff, things go sideways? So let me do this. Let me change Southwest Portland. Maybe it's not enough space there. I learn like you guys too. So wills and trust experts. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, the point being is the more you personalize your spec ad to make it relative to them, the more effective it'll be. You can customize by putting in their own logo. You've got some ability to do some customization here, but the whole point is, and I've heard this over and over, it's not the purpose to go in with a finalized ad, it's to go in with an idea. Here's how to reach, to get their buy-in, to get their engagement. So when I was an ad rep once, I'd go in with a couple of spec ads. Which one do you like? The Benjamin Franklin close, okay? And so here's the thing with Pulse. Once you do some tweaking here on your ad, and you can do both, print ads, online ads, look at this. You can save it to Pulse. So we click here, and now we can save our ad for Stoll Reeves right back to your Pulse ad itself, or your Pulse flyer, if it were, okay? And there you go. And so here's the Pulse presentation we created for Stoll Reeves. And right here, connected with this presentation, is if I click there, it would take us right back to that ad, we created for Stoll Reeves. Okay. So that is an overview of how you can go directly from Pulse, from a specific presentation, right into your Spec Ad program. Once again, here's the opportunity, here's how to reach them. And once again, when you log in and you've got it on your smartphone or your tablet Pulse, you can come right in here and just click on, your previous connections, click on one of them, like here on Gravity Cartel, and that presentation will pop up right on your phone or your tablet, and you engage with them in real time. That I would highly recommend, because you've got new data. It's data that's like a crystal ball for them. And then the last thing I promised I wanted to share with you is the Pulse closing tool. Greg mentioned a moment ago about the pivot to 52-week campaigns, and I mentioned that the Pulse closing tool has been very effective, and Chris Scott specifically mentioned that is on your phone. Click here. You've got the Pulse homepage on your phone or your tablet. You click here on the Pulse closing tool, and here's how I kind of engage with them. I say, let's work together. Let's figure out what's comfortable for you. I understand there's risk and uncertainty in signing a 52-week contract. I get that. But let's figure out what's comfortable for you. Let's take away the risk, okay? And they say, what do you mean by that? Well, let's work together based upon what's the value of a new customer for you and what's your cost of goods. How's that sound? They said, great. So we click on the break-even calculator, and let's say it's a $26,000 campaign, okay? 52 weeks. And so you can just fill in the amount right there, okay? Then you get from them, remember, get their engagement, their buy-in. Let's work together. Okay, what's a new customer worth? What would that household spend over the next 12 months, that new customer? Get it from them. We want this to be their customer value, their buy-in. They say, well, a new customer would be worth about $3,500, okay? You type it right in on your phone or a tablet. I've actually had them type it in, okay? Then we understand you have to pay for the furniture. Okay, you've got cost of goods. Even dentists have cost of goods. What's your cost of goods? Because we know you have to pay for, the product, labor, et cetera. Well, it's about 65%. So you get it from, 35. You get it from them, okay? 65%, okay? So 3,500 retail customer value. Cost of goods from them, 65%. So your net customer value is around 1,200. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, look at that. You only need 22 customers. 22 customers over the next 52 weeks. That's 22 out of thousands of customers that you reach Oregonian, Oregon Live, who in the next 12 months are going to shop at a furniture store, get an attorney, change chiropractors, etc. The beauty is it's such a small, infinitesimal little number. That's less than 2 a month. Just 2 a month to pay for the campaign. I've had so many times them say to me, well, that's a no-brainer. Let's do this. Because I say, look at this. Over the next 52 weeks, you're going to get a 2x7 in the Oregonian. You're getting 50,000 on the impressions on the website. You're going to get, geofencing. You're going to get blah, 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 blah. Okay. Do you think you're going to get at least 22? So many times they say, yeah, of course. You just made your sale. And so that's our recommendation, is to engage the business so they for themselves understand it doesn't take many customers for a 52-week commitment campaign. And I remember talking to an attorney once. And he said, well, I think I'll try it for a few weeks. And I said, do you want to talk to him for 2 weeks, on this, and get these will or trusts, get you a share of it? Or would you want to talk to him for 52 weeks? And he said, you're right. Let's talk to him consistently. Repetition is so important. Okay. And by the way, if it was a 26 or a 13-week campaign, figure it out for yourself. You don't need many more for a 52-week campaign versus a 52-week campaign. There isn't that much difference in the number you need. And
John, I really like this math, the way you've put it together, including the cost of goods sold percentage there. And so definitely a cool tool that I'm excited about. And the numbers, every time I've seen one of these, the numbers tend to be this low, just because we're smart about chasing, categories where you don't have to make up that campaign, with a $5 sandwich over and over again. So the team's pretty smart that way, but I do like being able to spell this out and the concept of, do you think we could find 22 people out of 70,000 in the course of in a year? To just feels like that's going to change that conversation from, oh, it didn't work in the first 2 weeks, or it didn't work in the first month, whatever. Our account managers do a really good job of optimizing these campaigns over time, and if given a chance, I think we can make the cash register ring. So
absolutely.
thank you for pointing this out.
And I'm going to echo what you just said, Greg. Please put Pulse on your phone or your tablet, and even if you just use this break-even tool with them for them, you're going to have a dramatic increase in your closing ratio. And here's another little tip. What if you've got one of those ornery bits? I don't think I'll get 22. You can visualize that happening, right? I don't think I'll get 22. Here's what we've built into the program. Okay, you're the boss. What do you think is the absolute fewest, lowest number of new customers you would get? The worst case scenario, absolute worst. Well, first of all, they don't think you're going to follow up, right? And ask them that question. So they go, I don't know. Well, what do you think it would be? They always cut it in half. I think 11. So you click on the down thumb here, okay? The thumbs down. You just said 11 would be the absolute worst, fewest number of customers you're going to get, right? Over 52 weeks. 11, right? Okay, 11. Look at that. 11 customers, your worst case scenario at your net customer value of roughly $1,200. That's a $13,500 campaign. You just closed a sale. And I don't know about you, but I'd take a $13,500 campaign to get engaged with that business. And I'm sure you can figure out a nice, solid campaign for $13,500, right, Greg?
I'm sure we can. We do it pretty regular, John.
Yeah. So the point is that this tool takes away the fear, gets them engaged so they realize, yes, I can. And it helps you pivot to, and the industry has to do this. We have got to stop selling short-term campaigns. We've got to stop, and I'll be blunt, whipping out, well, I'll give it a try. Use this tool with them so they realize there's no risk. I'm going to get at least 22, out of 15,000 households. Okay. So in closing, I want to recommend, if I will, you've got brand new data. It's absolutely fresh. Nobody else has this. You've got it. The businesses don't have it. Various government entities on and on don't have it. Their own trade association, like the Oregon Automobile Dealers Association, don't have it. You've got it. Every single business you engage with, whether the best advertiser you got or a person who won't talk to you, start the conversation, engage with them with the information about and for their business, the opportunity, the value of the Oregonian audience. In today's world, they love that you care enough that you've got information about their business. So let me turn it back over to you, Greg, in a wrap up. And if there's any way I can help for the Pulse team, once again, it's Marling, MARLING, @paper.net.
John, thank you so much for giving us this tour here, and the information's current. I saw a note there, Leslie, there's a couple of things that she maybe wants to connect with you on, John, but the data is new, it's ours, it's unique, it's the kind of thing that customers are looking for. And so my ask for everybody on the call here is to dive in. There's the training. If you're not comfortable, you saw John do it once and you need a refresher or whatever, the training is there. Pulling this information either directly from Pulse on your phone or putting it into the master slides that Chris has designed for this stuff to live in. Either way, but get in and use it is really my ask with this, and we'll be following up. John's always been really helpful with when we have good suggestions and that sort of thing. And so if you see something, say something, and we'll continue to get after this. So thanks everybody for taking some time today.
Thank you, and I'll send you the recording, Greg.
Thank you very much, John.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your team. I'm a fellow Oregonian. Thanks.